Tuesday of the 15th week in Ordinary Time.
A reading from the book of the prophet Isaiah. In the days of Ahaz, king of Judah, son of Jotham, son of Uzziah, Rezin, king of Aram, and Pekah, king of Israel, son of Remaliah, went up to attack Jerusalem, but they were not able to conquer it. When word came to the house of David that Aram was encamped in Ephraim, the heart of the king and the heart of the people trembled, as the trees of the forest tremble in the wind. Then the Lord said to Isaiah, "Go out to meet Ahaz, you and your son Shear-Jashub, at the end of the conduit of the upper pool, on the highway of the fuller's field, and say to him, Take care you remain tranquil and do not fear. Let not your courage fail before these two stumps of smoldering brands, the blazing anger of Rezin and the Arameans, and of the son Remaliah, because of the mischief that Aram, Ephraim, and the son of Remaliah plots against you, saying, Let us go up and tear Judah asunder, make it our own by force, and appoint the son of Tabeel king there. Thus says the Lord, This shall not stand, it shall not be. Damascus is the capital of Aram, and Rezin is the head of Damascus. Samaria is the capital of Ephraim, and Remaliah's son the head of Samaria. But within 60 years and 5, Ephraim shall be crushed, no longer a nation. Unless your faith is firm, you shall not be firm. The word of the Lord.
The responsorial psalm. The response is, God upholds his city forever. Great is the Lord and holy to be praised in the city of our God. His holy mountain, fairest of heights, is the joy of all the earth. God upholds his city forever. Mount Zion, the recesses of the north, is the city of the great king. God is with her castles, renowned is he as a stronghold. God upholds his city forever. For lo, the kings assemble, they come on together. They also see, and at once are stunned, terrified, routed. God upholds his city forever. Quaking seizes them there, anguish like a woman's in labor, as though a wind from the east were shattering ships of Tarshish. God upholds his city forever.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. Jesus began to reproach the towns where most of his mighty deeds had been done, since they had not repented. Woe to you, Chorazin! Woe to you, Bethsaida! For if the mighty deeds done in your midst had been done in Tyre and Sidon, they would long ago have repented in sackcloth and ashes. But I tell you, it will be more tolerable for Tyre and Sidon on the day of judgment than for you. And as for you, Capernaum, will you be exalted to heaven? You will go down to the netherworld. For if the mighty deeds done in your midst had been done in Sodom, it would have remained until this day. But I tell you, it will be more tolerable for the land of Sodom on the day of judgment than for you. The Gospel of the Lord.
The first reading comes from Isaiah 7, 1-9. In order to understand this reading, we have to understand a little bit of the politics that's going on in these years. Assyria had made Israel and Syria vassal states. They're immediately subject to the whims of the emperor. They have to send tribute. They have to even show deference to the Assyrian gods. On the other hand, Judah was not a vassal state of the Assyrian Empire. Well, the emperor of Assyria died, and the leaders of Israel and Syria decided to rebel against Assyria. The death of an emperor was a perfect time to rebel. We see that over and over again in ancient history. But in order to rebel, they have to call upon a powerful enemy of Assyria to give them assistance, and that would be Egypt. In order for the Egyptian troops to arrive, they have to pass through Judah. So the leaders of Israel and Syria asked Judah to join in the rebellion. Now, Judah has no reason to join in the rebellion because they're not even a vassal state of Assyria. Why would they join in this rebellion and probably be crushed by the Assyrian forces? So they refuse to join in. And that's why the king is near the upper pool with his son, Shear-Yashub. Why is he there? To inspect the water supply during the siege that is certainly coming, because the Israeli troops and the Syrian troops will besiege Jerusalem, not so much to conquer it, but to change the dynasty. Now remember, this is the Davidic dynasty. This is a dynasty that was put in place by God himself in the days of King David. And yet they want to overthrow that dynasty and put their own man in charge of Judah. What does Isaiah say? They will not succeed. In fact, their doom is coming. In 722 BC, Israel, in fact, becomes a province of the Assyrian Empire. They were conquered, and many of their educated and rich people were exiled into Assyrian territory. The Gospel is from Matthew 11:20-24. Jesus condemns Chorazin and Bethsaida. Now these are towns in Galilee where he preached, where he performed miracles, and yet they haven't turned away from their evil ways. They haven't put on sackcloth. He says, in Tyre and Sidon, if I had done half of what I did among you, they would have already converted. Notice, this is in the Gospel of Matthew, a gospel written for Jewish people who had converted to Christianity, and to convert other Jews to Christianity. And yet, who are the heroes? Pagans. We're going to see that over and over again in these chapters, that in spite of the fact that Jesus has come to preach to the lost sheep of Israel, very often it's the pagans who give a better example of faith than the ones you would expect. That means that when we're looking around, if we're trying to find people of faith, we should not just look at those people who are naturally considered religious. We should also look at those other people who might not be as explicit in their practice of their faith, but yet in their hearts there's a deep, profound belief in the love of God, and they live that love in the way they live their everyday lives. And may God bless us.